Wizard101 is an odd game that's 12 years old and still has paywalls, but surprisingly still stands the test of time as its servers remain up. Not many online games can really survive this long. Some people are even curious what Wizard101 is like in 2020. So much so, there are quite a few number of videos out there on this topic. I can see this game through perfect vision for what it is. Anyway, it's this time of year where we all sit around the fireplace with family silently contemplating the shit we've done. So, let's go over the good and the bad in this year's Wizard101 Year in Review. So the first thing we'll go over are the most controversial things of this year. One of which were the spell revamps of all the 7 main schools. They had their spells changed to prevent power creep and try to balance out PvP. To balance outside of PvP, most enemies were given a health reduction of 20%. Overall though, players seemed to be coping with the changes just fine. My opinion on it though was I didn't really care. I'm not really all that serious about high damage or resistances. To me, it's not about the numbers, but rather just playing the game. Like normal, there are quite a few blatant cash grabs such as never-ending pet and mount bundles, new horde packs, super horde packs, and in general, just several holiday packs. I don't understand why there's always a new Christmas pack every single fucking year. Santa seems to always come earlier and earlier every year to take your money and leave you with shit in your stocking, whether you've been naughty or nice. Most people seem to have forgotten this, but at one point, players' faces were changed. It made people look like a Disney character if their plastic surgery went horribly wrong, resulting in them aging faster. Eventually, though, this was later remodeled after many people complained of botched Botox injections. The user interface was a big adjustment for old and existing players, sorta like a transition from Hypercam to OBS for YouTubers. For me personally, I don't see the reason for the change in the user interface. It was fine the way it was, but also I didn't have to press an extra key every 3 seconds on my keyboard to see the stats of something. That isn't to say that there weren't any good things to come from this year. Pet combat talents was truly one of the best underutilized additions to the game. Being able to use an extra spell for a round is extremely useful. Another somewhat overlooked feature was the ability to lend pets. This allowed many players to give up their pets to hatch with another person without having to pay gold, but at the cost of not receiving an egg. It's very useful because ordinarily both players would have to pay for pet hatching regardless of whether one person wanted an egg or not. Adding to that, there was an addition of gear set bonuses which are still very far and few in between, meaning wearing pieces of gear relating to the set would grant you extra stats. Now, to my knowledge, there are only about 5 sets in the game currently, not counting the school variations of others. While it is useful, it's still somewhat primitive. Advanced placement was a godsend to all home decorators, allowing anyone to place anywhere they wanted. You wanted some people stranded at sea? Advanced placement. You want a car stuck in the wall to simulate a car crash? Advanced placement. Were the instructions unclear and you got your stuck somewhere? Advanced placement. The only place where advanced placement can't be used is in a hotel. Speaking of which, housing tours received an update to allow new categories of homes as well as making it harder for people to boost their houses on the leaderboards. It's very fascinating because even if your houses are on the leaderboard, you don't really get anything out of it. No rewards, no gold, no congratulations, you get squat, nada. Nothing. Now, I don't really know how big the housing community is or what kind of weekly worship gatherings through Discord or Zoom that they do, but it's probably like the Pez community. There are, of course, still problems with the system, sure, but overall, I'd say it's a step in the right direction. Then we have the new world, known as Caramel or Caramel. I don't know how the f*** you say it. You can probably say it any which way. In my opinion, it's okay. There weren't really any moments I found that was shocking or had a twist of any kind. Graphically, I kinda wondered where the shadows or shaders went for most of the world because it looked like something out of Microsoft Paint using deep pastel colors. There's just something about it that makes it stand out from the other worlds, like it doesn't fit. Anyway, alongside the release of the new world came changes to the combat system for critical hits. Instead of the critical hit rating going down when you level up, it now increases. which makes sense. I mean, the whole point of leveling up is to become more powerful, not weaker. The big spotlight of this year was the Wizard101 documentary series involving a few content creators and developers as a testament to this game's longevity. I'd say it's worth a watch if you want to know more about the game's development process and history. Lastly, I want to mention a big step on KingsIsle's part for giving existing players 12 days of free membership, which took place about a week ago. Some people theorize Wizard101 is going to stop with paywalls, and there is some evidence to attribute to this, but if they do, I'd have no problems with it. While on this topic, I'm currently working on part 3 of how far can you make it in Wizard101 for free. So far, I've been scouring through 30 hours of gameplay, and unlike the first 2 parts, I didn't have to go through several worlds. In terms of structure, it will be different than the other 2. Eventually, it will be out, so just sit tight and twiddle your thumbs for a little bit at the many trending VTubers. With that, happy holidays, happy new year, take care, stay safe, and see you guys.